movement, transportation of substances in plants and animals. Learning objectives. Types of plants. Transport of materials, substances in plants. Transportation in unicellular and simple multicellular plants. Transportation in higher plants. Transpiration. Transportation of materials in animals. Blood. Human circulatory system. Blood groups. Pulse. Kidney failure. Dialysis. Loss of water in the vapor state from the aerial parts of plants is known as transpiration. Transpiration is similar to evaporation in the loss of water vapor but differs from the same in 1. Formation of water vapor internally. 2. Being controlled by a number of plant factors. 3. Occurrence of it even when the air is saturated. 4. Influence of light. Most of the transpiration, 98 to 99% of water, occurs through leaves and is called foliar transpiration. A minor amount of transpiration occurs through barks of plants and is called bark transpiration. Types of plants. According to texture, height, growth and duration of stems, plants are herbs, shrubs, and trees. Herbs. Herbs are small plants with soft and pliable stems. Herbs can be annual and perennial. Example, mint, spinach, etc. Shrubs. Shrubs are perennial plants with medium height, woody main stem but without any distinction of trunk. Shrubs often have several branches of equal height and are called bushes. Example, rose plant. Trees. They are tall perennial plants with a thick woody main stem or trunk. The main stem or trunk is distinguishable till a height, after which it is replaced by a number of large branches which form a dome-shaped crown. Herbs. Shrubs. Trees. Transport of materials, substances, in plants. The body of every plant or animal is made up of cells. A large organism has millions and millions of cells in its body. For the organism to be able to maintain its life and survive, all its cells must be supplied with essential substance, like food, oxygen, water, etc. So some arrangement is required inside an organism which can carry the essential substance to all parts so that they reach each and every cell of the plant. In biology, transport is a life process in which a substance, absorbed in one part of the body of an organism, is carried to other part of its body. Large organisms, large plants and animals need transport systems in their bodies to supply all their cells with food, oxygen, water and other materials. Vascular system. In fact, special tissues and organs are needed for the transport of substances in plants and animals because these tissues and organs can pick up the essential substance like food, oxygen, water etc. at one end of their body and carry them to all other parts. Aerial parts of plants can absorb only a small quantity of water from atmosphere when it is saturated. Most of water absorption occurs from soil through roots. For this the roots must be metabolically active, repairing aerobically and continuously growing. Soil has several types of water holding capacity. Transportation in unicellular and simple multicellular plants. Diffusion, it is the movement of particles, molecules, atom, ions etc., of gases, liquids, and solids from the region of their higher concentration to the region of their lower concentration. Diffusion is a major method by which transport of material occurs in single-celled, unicellular organisms like chlamydomonas and simple multicellular plants like Spirogyra. When food is being cooked in your kitchen, you can smell it in other rooms. This is because molecules are leaving the food as a gas and moving around at high speed, eventually reaching all parts of the house. This is called diffusion. Diffusion in plants is a very important process for photosynthesis where CO2 from the stomata diffuses into the leaves and finally into the cells. Transportation in higher plants. The mechanism of transport in multicellular higher plants is much more elaborate. Plants are less active, so their cells are not supplied with materials so quickly. Also, due to the branch and shape of a plant, all the cells of a plant can get oxygen for respiration and carbon dioxide for photosynthesis directly from the air by diffusion, so the only substances which are to be supplied to a plant through a transport system are water and minerals. Another job of the transport system of plants is to transport food prepared in the leaves to the various parts of the plants like stems, roots, etc. So, the plant has two types of conducting tissues called xylem and phloem. Xylem tissues carry water and minerals, whereas phloem tissues carry the food prepared by the plants. We can now say that the plants have two transport systems. I. Xylem, which carries water and minerals. 2. Phloem, which carries the food materials which the plants make. Phloem also carries the hormones made by the plants in their root and shoot apex. Transportation system in plants. Activity 8.1. To show upward movement of water. What you need: a shoot of balsam plant, a piece of stem with leaves, red-colored flask. How to do the test? I. Take a cut shoot of a plant and dip it in a dilute red-colored ink in a flask. 2. Leave the apparatus for some time. 3. After that, take other sections from different parts of the stem and examine the sections under the low power of a microscope. What do you observe? You will observe red color in the stem section. The red-colored area of the stem represents the vascular tissue, xylem, in the stem. Activity 8.2. To show transport of food materials. What you need: a fully mature plant stem. How to do the test? If a stem is girdled, the downward and upward movement of food materials gets blocked, so the trunk position shows swelling in the area due to accumulation of food material. Select one branch of a potted plant. Gently remove its part in a small area of about 1 cm with the help of a razor blade as shown in figure, and leave the branch after girdling for a week. What do you observe? You will find that the part of stem above the girdle is swollen while the lower part is unchanged. The food prepared by the leaves could not be carried below the girdled part of the stem and got collected above the girdle and the stem there became swollen. Transportation of water and minerals. Plants require water for making food by photosynthesis, and they also need mineral salt for various purposes. Water and minerals are absorbed from the soil and transported through root hair to the various parts of the plant like stems, leaves and flowers. In the leaves, water is used in making food by photosynthesis. The water and minerals dissolved in it move from the roots of the plants to the leaves through two kinds of elements of the xylem tissues called xylem vessels and tracheae. Absorption of water. Roots absorb water in the region of their root hair. Root hair are tubular outgrowths of the cells. Xylem vessels and tracheae are both non-living conducting tissues, which have thick walls. Water enters the plant through the thin root hair. Root hair are unicellular. They are outgrowths from the layer of outer cells of the root. This outer layer is known as the epidermis. The epidermis is a thin layer that allows water to pass through, but not other substances. Such a thin layers of cells is known as a semi-permeable membrane. Water enters the cells by a process called osmosis. Osmosis is the passage of water across a semi-permeable membrane from an area where water is less. The root hair are in close contact with the water surrounding the soil particles. This water has dissolved minerals in it. Normally, water molecules are more crowded outside the root hair than inside. So they move by osmosis through the root hair. They then move through the root tissues to the xylem in the root, and then through the xylem up the stem to the leaves. Absorption of water. Transpiration. The process of losing water in the form of water vapors from a living plant is known as transpiration. In the chapter on food and nutrition you have studied that 1. Water required for food manufactured by the plants is absorbed from the soil. 2. The food is synthesized in the leaves. The water absorbed from the soil through the root system has to be moved upwards to other plant parts, and the food synthesized in the leaves is to be carried to the other parts. Transpiration is of the following types. 1. Cuticular transpiration. It is the loss of water in the vapors formed directly through the external membranes. The general surface leaves are young stem through layer of cuticle. Cuticular transpiration continues throughout day and night. 2. Stomatal transpiration. It is the loss of water in the vapor form from stomata present on the surface of leaves and to a lesser extent on the surface of flowers and young stems. It is the major form of transpiration. 3. Lenticular transpiration. This is loss of water in vapor form from lentils or aerating pores present in the bark of stem. 4. Bark transpiration. A small quantity of water is lost from the corky bark of the stem. Both lenticular and bark transpirations continue day and night. Large quantity of water is absorbed by the plant for photosynthesis. However, excess water escapes in the form of water vapors from the stomata of leaves, lentils of the stem and fruits or cuticle of leaves. Activity 8.3. To demonstrate that water is given off during transpiration. What you need: transparent polythene bag, thread, small-sized, well-water potted plant. How to do the test? I. Take a small-sized well-watered potted plant. 2. Cover the plant as shown in the figure with a transparent polythene bag. Tie the bag at the base of the stem. 3. Leave the plant in sunlight for a few hours and then observe. What do you observe? Drops of water on the inside of the bag. So, this activity was to show that water is given off during transpiration. Factors influencing transpiration. 1. Light. Light increases transpiration through opening of stomata and increases protoplasmic permeability. 2. Temperature. Increase in temperature increases transpiration. 3. Humidity. Increase in humidity decreases transpiration. 4. Giant wind. Air movement increases the rate of transpiration by bringing dry air and removing moist air around the transpiring materials. 5. Stomata. Stomata opening and number have direct effect on transpiration. 6. Cuticle. Transpiration is lower with the increase in thickness of cuticle. Sci facts. Forests in the Amazon River basin of Brazil are being cut down at the rate of 14 million hectares per year. Importance of transpiration. 1. It results in the transport of water and minerals from the soil to the leaves. In the leaves, water forms the raw materials for photosynthesis. 2. It produces a cooling effect which helps in preventing hot sunlight from damaging delicate cells. Transportation of food. Sugar molecules formed in the leaves during photosynthesis are transported throughout the plant by phloem. Phloem has cells called sieve tubes which are placed one above the other to form long tubes through which food is transported. The contents of phloem can move in upward as well as downward direction, whereas water in xylem moves only in upward direction. Sci facts. Loss of water in the liquid state from uninjured parts of plants is known as guttation. It usually occurs from tips and margins of leaves during night or early morning when there is high atmospheric humidity, as during wet seasons. Guttation occurs in some plants only. For example, potato, tomato. In the regions of guttation, the leaves possess special pores called hydathodes. Transportation of materials in animals. Movement of body fluids inside animals so as to transport materials from the region of formation to the region of utilization or disposal is known as circulation of body fluids. A circulatory system is a complex of structures involved in the flow of body fluid of an organism so as to accomplish transport of materials. Circulation of body fluids can be of the following types. 1. Intracellular circulation. It occurs inside the individual cells through cyclosis or cytoplasmic streaming, for example paramecium, amoeba. 2. Extracellular circulation. In animals, the living cells are bathed in an intercellular or extracellular fluid which is circulated in the body by transport of materials. Blood. Blood is a red-colored liquid which is circulated in our body. Blood is red because it contains a red pigment called hemoglobin in its red cells. Blood is a connective tissue. Blood consists of four things, namely plasma, red blood corpuscles, white blood corpuscles and platelets. Thus the main components of blood are 1. Plasma. 2. Red blood corpuscles, RBCs. 3. White blood corpuscles, WBCs. 4. Platelets. Main components of blood. 1. Plasma. The liquid part of blood is called plasma. Plasma is a colorless liquid which consists mainly of water with many substances dissolved in it. Plasma contains about 92% water. Plasma also contains dissolved substances such as proteins, digested food, common salt, waste products, and hormones. Plasma carries all these dissolved substances from one part to another part in the body. Plasma in blood. 2. Red blood cells. Red blood cells carry oxygen from the lungs to all the cells of the body. Red blood cells are red in color due to the presence of red pigment called hemoglobin inside them. Red blood cells, RBC, are carriers of oxygen. Hemoglobin performs a very important function of carrying oxygen from lungs to body tissue and carbon dioxide from body tissue to the lungs. Red blood cells are circular in shape. Red blood cells do not have nuclei. Red blood cells have to be made quickly because they do not live for very long. Each red cell lives for about 4 months. One reason for the short life of red blood cells is that they do not have nuclei. Red blood cells. 3. White blood cells. White blood cells fight GHT infection and protect us from diseases. This is because white blood cells help to fight against germs and other foreign bodies which cause disease. Some white blood cells can eat up the germs which cause diseases. Other white blood cells make chemical known as antigens to fight against infection. White blood cells. 4. Platelets. Platelets are the tiny fragments of special cell formed in the bone marrow. Platelets do not have nuclei. Platelets help in the coagulation of blood, or clotting of blood, in a cut or a wound. For example, when a cut or wound started bleeding, then platelets help clot the blood, due to which further bleeding stops. Platelets. Functions of blood. I. Transport of nutrients. 2. Transport of waste products. 3. Transport of respiratory gases. 4. Transport of hormones. V. Regulation of temperature. Y. Distribution of water. 7. Support or turgidity. 8. As connective tissue. 9. Prevention of disease by means of antibodies and antitoxins present in it. Blood vascular system. It is a circulatory system containing a special body fluid or blood and pumping organs or heart for moving it. Blood vascular system occurs in vertebrate and higher vertebrates. In the human circulatory system, blood carries oxygen, digests food and other chemicals like hormones and enzymes to all the parts of the body. It also takes away the waste products like carbon dioxide and urea produced in the body cells. The human blood circulatory system consists of the heart and the blood vessels through which the blood flows in the body. The blood flows through 3 types of blood vessels. I. Arteries. 2. Veins. 3. Capillaries. Blood vascular system. Human circulatory system. The organ system of human beings which is responsible for the transport of materials inside the body is called circulatory system. The various organs of the circulatory system in human are: I. Heart. 2. Arteries. 3. Veins. 4. Capillaries. So, in the circulatory system, the heart acts as a pump to push out blood. Human heart. The heart is roughly triangular in shape. It is made of special muscles called cardiac muscles. The heart has 4 compartments called chambers inside it. The upper 2 chambers of heart are called atria, and the lower 2 chambers of heart are called ventricles. The 2 atria receive blood from the 2 main veins, and the 2 ventricles transport blood to the entire body and the lungs. The job of heart is to pump blood inside our body. A sheath of tissue called pericardium protects the muscular heart. The chambers of heart are separated by a partition called septum. Human heart. The arteries, veins and capillaries are kinds of thin pipes through which blood flows in the body. Arteries, veins and capillaries are called blood vessels. Arteries are the thick-walled blood vessels which carry blood from the heart to all the parts of the body. Arteries are found in whole body. 2. Veins are the thin-walled blood vessels which carry blood from all the parts of the body and back to the heart. The main difference between an artery and vein is that an artery carries blood from the heart to the body organs, whereas a vein carries blood from the body organs back to the heart. 3. The capillaries are thin-walled and extremely narrow tubes or blood vessels which connect arteries to veins. Thus, the capillaries are in between the arteries and veins. The blood from arteries enters the capillaries in the body. Every living cell of our body is close to a capillary. The various dissolved substances, like oxygen, food, etc., present in blood pass into the body cells through the thin walls of the capillaries. The heart beats non-stop all the time. The heartbeat is due to the rhythmic contraction and relaxation of the heart muscles which make up the atria and the ventricles. Note that the 2 atria, left atrium and right atrium, contract together and relax together. Similarly, the 2 heart ventricles, left ventricle and right ventricle, contract together and relax together. Activity 8.4. Go to your family doctor and request him to show you the stethoscope, the instrument which he often places on your chest to listen your heart rate. Now prepare a stethoscope of your own. You require a glass funnel, a 50 centimeters long rubber tube and tape strip. Fix these items as shown in figure. The stethoscope is ready to use. Put the open end of the rubber in one of your ears. Place the funnel on your chest near the heart. Listen carefully to the thumping sound. The thumping sound is the heartbeat. Count the heartbeats per minute. Now run for a short while and again count your heartbeats. Do you find any difference between the 2 counts? Note down and explain your results. Take the help of your class teacher. Blood groups. In human beings, 4 blood groups are found. These are A, B, AB and O. Thus all the human beings have one of these blood groups. The blood group of a person is inherited from his parents. The blood of all the human beings is divided into 4 groups depending upon the presence or absence of certain antigens in their red cells, and the presence or absence of certain antibodies in their plasma. A blood group and its antigen are represented by the same letters. For example, blood group A has antigen A, blood group B has antigen B, and blood group AB has antigens A and B. Blood group O has, however, no antigens. A blood group and its normal antibodies are represented by different letters. For example, blood group A has antibody B, blood group B has antibody A, whereas blood group AB has no antibodies in it. Blood group present on red cells, antigen A, present on red cells, antigen B, antibody, present in plasma, anti-A, antibody, present in plasma, anti-B. A. Yes. No. No. Yes. B. No. Yes. Yes. No. O. No. No. Yes. Yes. Ab. Yes. Yes. No. No. Pulse. Every time the heart beats, blood is forced into arteries. This blood makes the arteries expand a little. The expansion of an artery each time the blood is forced into it is called pulse. Each heartbeat generates one pulse in the arteries, so the pulse rate of a person is equal to the number of heartbeats per minute. Since the heart beats about 72 to 80 times per minute, therefore, the pulse rate of an adult person while resting is 72 to 80 per minute. Thus, the pulse rate is the same as the heart rate. Just like heartbeats, the pulse rate of a person is higher after a physical exercise or when a person is excited. Most of our arteries lie deep inside our body and hence cannot be used to feel the pulse. But at some places in our body like the wrist, temple and neck, the arteries are close to the surface of skin and pass over bones. So, we can feel the pulse at wrist, temple and neck by pressing the artery lightly with our fingertips. The pulse is traditionally taken above the wrist. We usually see the doctor taking the pulse rate of a patient by keeping his fingers on the wrist of the patient and at the same time looking into his watch. Doctors can tell by counting the pulse rate and listening to heartbeats whether a person is well or not. This is because the pulse rate and heartbeats change according to the condition of our heart. Kidney failure. The normal functioning of kidneys is essential for good health. Sometimes a person's kidneys may stop working due to infection or injury. When the kidneys do not work properly, they are not able to remove the waste product urea from the blood. Complete failure of kidneys leads to the accumulation of too much urea in the blood of a person. Urea is a toxic substance, or poisonous substance, so the accumulation of too much urea in the blood of a person can ultimately kill the person. A person having kidney failure cannot survive unless his blood is filtered periodically through kidney machine to remove urea. The man having damaged kidneys has been put on kidney dialysis machine to filter his blood and remove urea. Dialysis. The procedure used for cleaning the blood of a person by separating the waste product urea from it is called dialysis. In the procedure called dialysis, the blood of a person having kidney failure is filtered regularly by using a kidney machine, or dialysis machine, to remove urea and other waste salts from it. Since a kidney machine can do the work of damaged kidneys, therefore, kidney machine is sometimes also called artificial kidney. Thus, artificial kidney is a machine to remove urea and other waste salts from the blood of a person by filtering it. The best long-term solution for kidney failure is, however, kidney rasant. In kidney transplant, the damaged kidney is removed and a matching kidney donated by a healthy person is transplanted in its place by performing a surgical operation. Keywords. Osmosis. It is the movement of water or solvent from a solution having its higher concentration to a solution having its lower concentration. Endosmosis. Passage through a membrane from a region of lower concentration to a region of higher concentration solution. Exosmosis. Osmotic withdrawal of water from a cell or system when placed in a hypertonic solution. Xylem. It carries water and minerals. Transport. Transport is a life process in which a substance absorbed in one part of the body of an organism is carried to other parts in body. Plasma. The liquid part of blood. Summary. In plants' food, water and mineral salts are transported through xylem and phloem. According to texture, height, growth and duration of stem, plants are herbs, shrubs and trees. Loss of water in the vapor state from the aerial parts of plants is known as transpiration. In human being, circulatory systems contains a special body fluid or blood and a pumping organ or heart for moving it. Blood is a red-colored liquid, which circulates in our body. Platelets help in the coagulation of blood in a cut or a wound. RBCs carry oxygen from the lungs to all the cells of the body. White blood cells fight infection and protect us from diseases. The 4 blood groups in human beings are A, B, AB, and O. The transferring of blood from one person to another person is called blood transfusion. Dialysis is done in case of kidney failure.